this tutorial, we'll learn how to make these wooden stars. Here's what you need. Some thin but strong cord. .30 wooden beads. A large eye darning needle. And a pair of scissors. Thread a length of cord onto the darning needle. Mine was about 1.5 meters. Take 12 of the beads and thread them onto the needle and down onto the cord. Don't push them too far down as you don't want them coming off the other end. Once you have threaded them all, remove the needle, and we're now going to tie the two lengths together. At one end, you want a small section of the cord, just enough to be able to tie a hanging loop at the end. Tie the two ends together and pull them really tight. Tie a second knot to secure, again making sure it's pulled tight. The first round is complete and we have created a circle. Thread the long end of the cord back through the darning needle and place 2 beads over the needle and pull all the way to the end of the cord. These 2 beads are vertical and they will sit on top of 2 beads below. The bead to the right at the bottom, we want to miss that and insert the needle into the next bead. Pull tight. The 2 vertical beads will now be sitting above 1 bead. Take 2 more beads and thread them onto the needle and again pull them to the end of the cord. They will sit above 2 beads and we want to ignore the bead to the right, miss that bead and then insert the thread through the next bead. Make sure that the cord isn't twisted and pull tight. These 2 beads now sit above 1 below and we've missed 1 in between the 2 sets. Thread 2 more beads, pull right down so they sit above 2 of the beads, miss the right hand side and thread the needle into the next. And pull tight. Add 2 more beads in the same way. Miss the bead on the right and thread the needle through the next bead. Pull tight, and each time you pull, you will be securing all the beads in this round. Repeat with another 2 beads. Miss the bead on the bottom right and thread the next one. Thread 2 more beads. Miss the bead on the right, and you will have one more bead between the one that we're doing now and the next part of the star, and this will complete the round. Your thread has come out in the same place as you started, and to secure this round, tie these two ends together. Tie one knot and pull tight, and tie again to secure. The second round is now complete. For the final round, we will be adding the points onto the star. One bead will be placed at the top of each point. Thread the long end of the cord. We now want to get the end up in between the two beads, and to do this, we thread up the left-hand side, and now the thread emerges at the top. Thread a bead and pull down in between those two beads. To secure this bead, we now need to thread the right-hand bead. Pull tight. To add the next bead, we need to get the thread up through these two beads here so that the thread emerges at the top, ready to add the point. Thread through the first one and pull tight. Then thread the second one. Once you're at the top, you can add a bead to create the second point. Pull tight each time to secure the beads. Thread back down through the other bead. And then we want to thread up the two beads so that we are now at the top of the third point. Add the next bead and repeat the process. You may find that sometimes the cord gets tangled around one of the other points. Untangle it and carry on, making sure that you pull the thread tight each time. Once you have added the last bead, thread the needle down the two right-hand side beads so that the end of the cord emerges from the same bead as the other end. Tie these two ends together, making sure that you pull them tight. Tie them again to secure. You have now added all your points to the star. To create a hanging cord, thread the cord up through this top point. We want to have one end coming out from one side and one end coming from the other side. And to do that, thread one of the ends back onto the needle, up through the left hand side bead, and through the top bead from left to right. The other end will now go through the right hand side beads and be threaded from right to left. Thread through these beads indicated, and when you get to the top bead, insert the needle from right to left. We now have one end emerging from the left and one end from the right. To create the hanging loop, I found it easier to turn the star so that it was facing me. Tie a knot and try and position it in the centre of the bead. Tie a second knot to secure, but before you pull this tight, just make sure it is in the centre. The size of the loop is up to you. Select how long you want it and then tie a knot in the end. Pull really, really tight. And snip close to the knot to finish the hanging loop. Your star is now complete. You can use different size beads to create smaller or larger stars. The method is exactly the same. Thanks for watching and happy crafting.